Solidarity Vigil today, Monday the 19th of June 2017. Today we mark the 5th anniversary of Julian Assange seeking asylum in the Embassy of Ecuador. We have gathered here today, a great number of us earlier today and a few more this evening, in solidarity with Julian Assange, hoping that finally his ordeal will be over and that he will soon have safe passage to leave the embassy and enjoy his asylum in Ecuador or wherever else he wishes. I would like to read some messages that we received in Twitter in support of Julian Assange. One of the messages reads, "Julian, we would like to speak to you today, even though we cannot physically be there. There are no words to describe the debt of gratitude we owe you and the amazing staff of WikiLeaks. You have changed the world for the better. We all stand with you and we will all continue to fight for your freedom of truth, for justice, to do whatever we can to get you out of here and then to reunite you with your family. Please be strong and continue to fight, as we will be alongside you. You're not alone. You have our support, our determination, our fight for what's right, and our love. With our deepest gratitude, Kelly, Ruth, Joy, Linda, Bethany, and the entire group of Assangevists." We have taken an initiative to write to the local Member of Parliament and appeal to her to intervene in find a solution to Julian Assange's plight. I would like to read out the letter that we today put together and for which we have amassed signatures. Dear Mrs. Dent Coad, at a time of grave sorrow for the loss of life in London due to terrorism and the fire at Grenfell Tower, with public service cuts very much unfolding, increasing further the risks to our safety, I'm writing to you to highlight the plight of Julian Assange, the editor of WikiLeaks, who for the last 5 years has been trapped in the Ecuadorian Embassy in London at great expense to the London taxpayer and great risk to his life and health. Government is often deaf to people's voices when their demands for justice come into conflict with their ideology, objectives, or other perceived interests. Perceived foreign policy objectives keep the UK government from granting safe passage to Julian Assange to travel wherever he wishes to and enjoy the political asylum granted to him by the government of Ecuador, which is his right. United Nations legal opinion published in February 2016 and confirmed in November 2016 is that he has been arbitrarily detained by the governments of Sweden and UK. Last month in May, Sweden has stopped legally detaining him, rescinding the Swedish and as a result the European arrest warrant that legally detained him. Not only Sweden no longer seeks his arrest, in fact the Swedish prosecutor, after questioning Julian Assange inside the Ecuadorian Embassy in November 2016, has now closed the preliminary investigation against him. Despite all the above, the Metropolitan Police has publicly stated that it seeks to arrest him for breaking his bail conditions and have an arrest warrant against him. This continues to keep him trapped in the embassy, where he continues to be under 24/7 surveillance to facilitate arrest. Julian Assange sought the protection of Ecuador because he is persecuted for his journalistic and publishing work. There is plenty of evidence that a grand jury investigation is amassing evidence against Julian Assange, WikiLeaks and his staff for more than 7 years for their publishing work. Recently, in April this year, CIA Director Pompeo has unequivocally stated CIA's determination to end the operation of WikiLeaks by any means. US Attorney Sessions, soon after, made public statements that he is preparing charges against Julian Assange for his journalistic work. Clearly, he's been persecuted over many years. It is the political asylum granted to him by Ecuador that protects him from this persecution. Up until October 2015, the publicly available information for the cost of this surveillance by Metropolitan Police to facilitate arrest alone amounted to more than £12 million. This was in addition to a covert operation where the cost is classified. Since then, any information about the cost of surveillance has been classified, as the operation is apparently 100% covert and we have no idea what money is being spent. It is money ill spent. At a time of austerity, with police and other essential services funding cuts, it is intolerable that the UK government is throwing good money down the drain, keeping Julian Assange trapped in the embassy to serve whatever ill-perceived foreign policy objectives, wasting police time instead of protecting the safety and security of the public at large. Mrs. Dent Coad, here at one of the streets of your constituency lives a man who has never received any assistance as a constituent from any member of parliament. His own country has abandoned him. We appeal to you to intervene in creating the necessary communications to assist and facilitate the end of his detention, upholding his human rights. By stopping his detention, you could at the same time stop the draining of public resources that can be used for the safety, security and well-being of Londoners. With many thanks for taking the time to read this letter at such difficult times, yours sincerely, Julian Assange Defence Committee, a grassroots solidarity campaign for the WikiLeaks editor.